And welcome back to Steam Prison Beyond the Steam, ladies and gentlemen. It's once more your man Bob Knob, Doc Wildcard. Welcome you back. In the previous chapter, Cyrus and her friends had gone through a dense fog and not knowing what was on the other side, except for the fact there was a desert. And now she's seen the desert for the first time and trying to do else route. And I'm not sure what that would take here. I guess probably this. Oh, whoops. See, I thought that would just. Let's see, this here. Here we go. Yeah. Yeah, Yuns is gonna be next. After Elt. Just stand there for a look. You can say that again. In fact, there's nothing but that. You can play it now if we want. Shall we get in touch with our intelligence and make sandcastles? ELTCREED. I'm being serious. I would never tease you a time like this. The heat is making it hard to breathe. Supposedly the air frigid at night, but I find it hard to believe. It's the truth, though. Ulrich wouldn't have died in his fought. An excellent point. It wouldn't be a much damage scrapped by the information broker. But setting that aside, where do we go from here? This carriage wasn't made for traveling through the desert. Indeed. That's why we're going to have someone else pick us up. You mean Ulrich? That would be the ideal scenario, but I'm not optimistic. There isn't any way that can specify his rendezvous point, as they explicitly instruct us to find your own way here. That seems harsh. It's love. Love and trust. This cockiness isn't dig. It only has a little bit. His cockiness. Okay, that's rich coming from you, Elt. But he is somewhat that way himself, that's true, yeah. But still. So it does hurt. That's just so. He never does anything loose today. He always wants to fuck. Now, everyone, please cover your ears. The pitch said before moving away from the carriage a few paces. Seemed to be having a hard time walking sunlight through the sand with each step. On earth you. Like a friend, my question a gunshot about my eardrums. The second or the third, he was flying into the air. Without hesitating, he fired off fourth, fifth, and sixth shot. Finally, elbow as he lowered his arm and turned back to face us. A satisfied smile spread across his face. I may have gotten a little carried away by you, or not. As usual, I wasn't following his logic. I stood there lost for words, their eyes slowly spoke up. Was that a signal? Precisely. Unfortunately, there's no telling who I just killed. I understand they don't have guns here, so anyone curious might... Oh, look. Someone's already on the way. Looked to wherever Eltcreed was pointing, saw a tiny dust cloud in the distance. Several eyes were approaching on backs of four-legged animals, not quite like horses. Unless I'm mistaken, those would be soldiers. They're armed with curved swords. Indeed, curved swords. I had said about this before, but I feel it was an interesting fact that I'd like to repeat. I found out at the Renaissance Fair something I suppose should have been just. I suppose I should have known from the start instinctively. But hey, we all need help from time to time. Curved swords actually are more efficient in cutting than broadswords, because broadswords, the curve of the sword on like a scimitar, that kind of thing, makes it go through in a faster motion because of the curvature. Whereas with a straight sword, that's better for like thrusting forward and can only be used for that. With a curved sword, because of the curvature, it can cut through easier. And I'm confused as to why, knowing that as they did in the medieval times, they didn't have more curved swords. They had more broadswords than anything else in Europe, anyway, to the best of my knowledge. I think that was explained at the Renaissance Fair. It was something that cost them more to do that or something like that, but still, it just strikes me as odd. What if they come to attack us? There's no legitimacy. You too, Han. Both may be skilled fighters, but diplomacy is not your strong suit. Just let me handle this. Stand back and watch the master at work. Who are you? What are you doing here? We are but humble travelers from beyond the fog. This nation is Canaan, but as you can see, we've become stranded. I sat on my nosemaker in hopes that someone might come to our side and hit it off. A blessed fortune. We're enormously grateful to join into you. What do we do? They all seem to be discussing how to deal with us. The gods teach us that righteous travel is like the great river. If we instruct them, our country will with it. Considering the direction you've come from, they should be safe. But who's going to take responsibility if something happens? Don't look at me. I could hear everything they're saying. So trained these soldiers receive. Is that the former Hounds officer you're talking? Yes, the current police officer. If only we had someone to prove what we all support. That wouldn't be advisable. If we let them see if there's a chance we might think of response, we'd be taking a risk. Agreed. The soldiers seem rare enough as it is. I guess the more we claim innocence, the more suspicious we might appear. I watch the soldiers quietly grow more and more impatient. Then finally, one of the soldiers approached us and spoke. ELTCREED. Dresses. Words that never hurt you. What does that mean? Do they not know, or they were just pretending not to know? Doubt with the response was reaction. Men who appeared to be the most level-headed sat outside the voices come of the soldiers who was here. You don't seem to be from Grendel. But what does beyond the fog mean? Just as it sounds, we came from a country that lies on the other side of the fog. As you can see, our clothes and equipment are quite different from yours. Is it really that hard to believe? Would you like more definitive proof? Success, I have to show it. Knowledge someone who recognizes fact. Please take us to your king. Who does this traveler think he is? My proposal is all in all of best interest. Whether the Granos passes or not, this decision will have ramifications. So why not appeal to our authority? Wouldn't it be easier to place the responsibility on someone else's shoulders? Our duty here is to defend our borders and serve as a guide to authorized traveler. To be completely honest, I'm not sure I can trust you. But that isn't my call to make. I'll take you as far as the palace, as you requested. What does that mean? Whatever happens next is in their hands. Remember, you asked for this. Don't come crying to me if things don't go where you imagined. Follow me on foot and bring your horses with you. We'll have a separate detachment to come collect your things. Thanks, sir. I can't tell you what else this is. I'm going to make St. Ewan walk. It's alright. We just for fun. Don't have any problem with it. Maybe it's my imagination, but there seems to be a lot of tension in the air. Perhaps it's because we're outsiders. That brings back memories. For the longest time I received a similar look when I was invited to visit the Heights. Calling the welcome is awfully generous. It's all about how you think and speak. Time marches endlessly onward. Negative feelings will keep you trapped in the past unless you maintain your sense of optimism. We finally arrived. Desert Nation. Tumbleweed land. Things are starting to get interesting. Despite the sudden unattached nature of ELTCREED's proposal, we have somehow been granted access to K-Enable. As the soldiers surrendered us rerouted to the palace, my curiosity was aroused by such anything I could have imagined. I found myself here unable to settle. It's rather conventional, but I find this town fascinating. I can't tell from this distance. It's made of sand, probably mud as well. Probably being a large river. They built with mud? How? Bricks can be made by mixing mud with straw, pouring into molds, and then drying it with heat. With dedicated factory and live release, but the sun here is so intense I bet that's all I need. Huh, didn't know that. Learn something new every day. There's no reason you would. I only learned that after I became more involved with maintaining districts. I thought all civilizations like this had been wiped out in the Great Flood. Apparently I was wrong. As we get older, our assumptions become more and more entrenched, and our minds more rigid. You seem flexible enough to me. The only reason the soldiers agreed to escrow us was a creative credit for thinking. You think so? I would estimate my negotiation skills to be responsible for 20% at most. The rest came down to our host chance to accommodate nature. But we can all... well, you can give me all the credit for now. I like how that makes you look. It's always nice when I can pick them in front of you. We would go to the building where the king lived, the palace. The air inside was cold and heavy, completely unlike the bustling town. I felt an indescribable tension. The temple was quieter than the surrounding city too, but not like this. The king is just up ahead. Please show me the respect he deserves. Yes, of course. It's an honor to be prepared to the audience so quickly. An ability tends to keep them waiting for days on end. It was a job or something. The leader's clear and more discerning, much like myself. Sorry, I can't be this boastful times. Well, let's go and prove to the king we have nothing to hide. Excuse me, Your Highness. I brought the individuals we spoke of. Thank you. So he's the king. This whole room seems to reflect his majesty. A high throne in the center of the room towered over everything. Man and seated there was scarcely seemed human. Marble pillars stretching all the way to the ceiling support the throne behind each undaunted gold ornamentation. The row of soldiers standing in front of the room demanded attached. Bronze armor was engraved with representations of various gods. The authority of the king was apparent in its unique brilliance. Servants bowed in the direction of the throne to show their respect to the king. Each was dressed in brightly colored robes that compromised the colors of the room. Stood proudly with their shoulders upon them. Soldiers' back, wearing jewelry intricately decorated with precious stones. Legends of K-Enable's spells, people, and its history were all on display in this one room. But the king was at the center all time together everything else. His presence commanded attention. I could tell as he stood as a symbol of the nation. Why is there only one? Ulrich's reports that there are two kings here. Maybe the situation in modern time was present. Or maybe it's because she stood up and announced. ELTCREED was the first to break the silence. Displaying the utmost confidence, he looked directly at the throne and gave a face. It is an honor to make your acquaintance, King Jareen. I'm ELTCREED Valentine, a humble wanderer. I detest lies. Speak the truth, Kajak. Oh, but I do! In this nation of K-Enable, I'm a mere vagrant, but indeed, I also represent a country from beyond the fog. Our advanced party is greatly indebted to you, King Dream. I have thrown out a gift to express my gratitude. Please do me the honor of accepting this. ELTCREED rose the satchel floor and took his time opening it for dramatic effect. Then he pulled out a t-shirt. Correct. However, there's something that makes this one particularly unique. I can throw it against the floor like this. Then it remains intact. It's a marvelous type of tableware that can be used safely by anyone from a toddling infant to the clumsy individual like myself. In Liberalese, that's the region that I manage, it can be found in any home purchased freely in any shop. If you desire, I'm prepared to share the manufacturing process with you, as long as the conditions are met. I happen to think it holds much more appeal than a few trifling jewels that you assume sleep wear. What do you think? Impressive. Make arrangements for those outside so you did us in the wall, not theirs, if you might. At once, sir. And as for you all. A moment, if I may, Kindred. Considering this fair opportunity, won't you spend a bit more time speaking with us? ELTCREED? Don't you think it's strange that I've only introduced myself? Not to mention, you spent a great deal of time for a stranger who's only just told you his name. But I suppose you may be quite busy, so I'll get right down to business. If I said every one of these tales, we'd be here for 1,001 nights. Nice, because that's what the Arabian Nights thing was called, 1,001 Nights, and this takes place in the Arabian Nights type thing. So I have no doubt that that's no coincidence. It was like a legend that a king had he wanted another wife every night because he didn't trust them to not try to kill him, but eventually a woman who he had picked decided to tell him tales over the course of 1,001 nights to keep him on the edge of his seat each time wanting more, and thus had spared countless lives in doing that. So I spared 90% of them, not simply tell I'm a politician. And this one is Saint Yun, a revered individual who is regarded as an object of worship by many great many of our people. That's just a sort of heavy intimate something an object of worship. You know them God? No, I'm no God. I was human once, but now I'm told I'll go back on earth. It's not my intent to get involved in this country, so this is affairs. So I appreciate it if we can talk about it further. I'd rather not be responsible for anything. Yes, what he said. Who says next? Yeah, I know. This fine young man is Heinrich Heinz, a police officer. In this country, I believe we call them soldiers. Heinrich is his full given name, and Heinz is his family name. Didn't leave much for me to say, did you? I'm Heinrich Heinz. Why do you have a soldier with you? For personal protection. I'm certain you could agree it's dangerous to travel unarmed. By the way, Cyrus over there is also one of our guards. Female soldier. Let's just see how long I've been recording. I imagine that would want to do the talking, knowing him. So yeah. Let's map this flow so I could do the talking. This is Cyrus the Cell. You'd be boss not to turn us painted. This is more than capable of holding your own in a fight. Indeed. That concludes our introductions. Is there anything I can clarify for you? I'm prepared to answer whatever questions you may have, King Junaid. I'm not. I see. Well, in that case, I have one. Actually, three, if you would indulge me. Question 1. As long as King G-Light possible, additionally, we will be able to reunite with our advanced party. No to both.
Is that good?
I see. Might I inquire the reason? I can't say I'm surprised by the details. You talk too much. This one forgets himself. No matter. They will find out sooner or later, so it's better to start to hide it. King Givite is currently receiving medical treatment following attack by an unknown assailant. The countrymen are being held as suspects. Waiting for them is impossible at the moment. Bringing unnecessary suspicion upon yourselves would hinder your expedition, would it not? Do not worry. You are all asking while love fails you. You will be seated as our guests. I believe it was what Givite would want. Wonderful. First question. What is your basis? Where did you hear that? The soldiers who came to our aid in the desert spoke those words to us. They seemed to be fishing for action. Is it a pastry of some kind? That phrase is thunderous in the language of another country. Would not ask not to repeat it unless you wish to bring misfortune upon yourselves. Understood. That information is greatly appreciated. This is the living area. Serves as a shared common space. We had prepared private rooms for each of you here. From left to right, they have been assigned to Master Yoon, Master ELTCREED, Master Hines, Lady Cyrus. They've been assigned rooms? They are identical, but change of clothes have been provided for each of you inside. They get just as your convenience. Thank you so much for your hospitality. I have a tendency to attract negative attention no matter what I do, but I truly hope to avoid causing problems while in your country. One last thing. In accordance with King's Ream's orders, activities of the feast are fairly restricted inside the palace. Specifically, your access is limited to your private quarters, the courtyard where you shown earlier, the corridors leading to outside the palace grounds. Should you desire knowledge of King Dream, please inform the nearest palace worker. They might not relay your request immediately, but the king will be informed. You can move freely outside the palace. However, please refrain from making any public statements regarding the king's leisure. I'll take my leave now. Of course, thank you so much for sending us back. Now see why the things in the palace are too things. Everyone's still on the edge following the attack of the king. I'm honestly surprised things aren't more chaotic. Outside nation's leaders quite a serious matter. People found out the rooms would take on life without them tear the country apart. I wonder if you're trying to keep it quiet so they can sell mad properly. I thought it was strange when they gave us just a verbal warning, but I bet they've got a lot of people watching us. You're probably right. We should probably be careful what we say so we don't lose their trust. So what are we going to do now? Whatever we do, we should change our clothes first. So I'll get ready to group here. I've been waiting for you, Lady Cyrus. Beautifully dressed woman greeted me as I soon opened her door. She bowed toward me silently and my computer did the same. Hello there, is there something I can do for you? I've been instructed by King Dream to assist with changing clothes. Please, let me. This is so exciting. I can't wait to see what Cyrus looks like. What else is there to be excited about? It's just a change of clothes. You don't get it all, Hyde. If Sid lives to a fault, he is. That is indeed true. Whatever she's wearing absolutely lovely. Something short would be appealing, but on the other hand, Mouse can have its own unique charms. I did not realize you thought that way. Of course I do. I'm a man after all. What does that make me? For me? Oh, come on. All men have ulterior motives. It's just their nature. Let's stop pretending.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Ah, Cyrus. When even Elt is rendered speechless, you know something's gotta be up.
ELTCREED, what's wrong?
I'm sorry, you're just so captivating. My heart skipped 3 or 4 beats.
That can't be good for you. What are you talking about just before I came out? You have to just stop pretending something?
Oh, Elkridge said that all men. Hey, don't look at that! There's a camera that looks just like Brandenburg. Maybe they're just relatives. How cute! What are you talking about?
You really expect his phone? Oh, hey, you're right.
You know I could never tell a lie. I wonder if that was based by the translators of George Washington, President Washington, when he was very young. He said that. He said, I cannot tell a lie after he chopped down his dad's cherry tree. That'd be pretty cool. But what good forces to spot their calendars now? Even in distant land, Lady Luck continues to spy on me. Forget what we were just talking about. It's nothing important.
Alright. After discussing with the group, we decided to spend the rest of the day resting at the palace. I could see our soldiers blocking out orders every now and then, seemed to be doing train drills.
You're still here, my king? I cannot seem to fall asleep. What's the situation? Unchanged. Grendels continue to send out most of our neighboring countries. They have even occupied the border zones. Savages. I couldn't agree more. The strength of the powers of defenses to apparent facetious by spies, but are you certain it was wise to grant entries to suspicious outside today? Especially with King Dream fight disposed, it doesn't seem there are only 4 of them. This is a note so fraught that we cannot accommodate 4 people, at least for now. Ruling a country is about more than wars and territorial disputes. It is to protect the peace of the people who live within our borders. As indeed the actual duty of any government body is to protect the people, yes, and to do their will, not to try to impose their will upon them. Our forefathers knew that, and so does President Trump. Whereas the Dems understood that basic fact. Even soldiers have lives and families. Living in the desert makes trade a necessity. We will ourselves in our country will suffer openly before. Maintain the defenses of our borders, but treat travelers you have. At once, your highness. Be hard from my men, but I will let them know. Yes, the situation has been hard on all of us. Minor effectiveness has caused nothing but trouble.
It had been an exhausting day. So I relaxed onto my bed and slept my eyes, my mind raced with thoughts of what lay in store. So I was afraid to do as we pleased, but I'm not trouble deciding. Just then, an idea popped into my head. Several days after I arrived on Canada.
Cyrus, would you like to go out with me?
What?
Oh, I'm sorry, that came out wrong. Actually, I said it in that way to purposely for an opportunity to my friends, so I was expecting you friends to play along. Would you like to go out with me? I plan to head into town.
In that case, yes, I'd be happy to escort you.
Thank you. My life is in your hands, why not? This is an unreasonable question, but you've gotten used to this place yet?
Everything but the water temperature swings. Considering how hot it is during the daytime, it never fails to surprise me how the cold mornings and evenings are.
I know exactly what you mean. I have such a hard time getting up each morning, and I'm staying in bed to the last possible moment.
I just try to get up at the same time every day. Ah, now I see. Is that why you were up last when I was your room?
I thought
Maybe you were working late at night.
Whoops, my secret's out. I mean, yes, work prevents me from sleep. The word lazy doesn't exist in my vocabulary. I was only kidding a moment ago.
You can drop the act. That's the same way it's like not being able to drag yourself out of bed. It's nice to know that someone as perfect as you has that side to them.
Perfect! Do you really think I'm...
Those aren't my words. They're yours. You're just describing yourself as perfect.
I suppose I am. I keep hoping that if I say it enough times it will become true, but that's not how life has worked for so far. Well, anyway, even if you're just repeating my own words back to me, I'm glad you recognize me as the perfect man I am. That's what I'm always hopeful. Now, what do you think of this? What does it do exactly? It serves two functions. First is a standard writing foot. It can accept ink cartridges. By the absence of one, it functions as a dip pen. To separate the cartridge, just remove this cap in the back. Then release this little clasp here. Ta-da! Here comes a handy pair of scissors.
Wow.
I wasn't expecting this response from you. What a lovely surprise.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just didn't know I could do that.
Oh, even your friends haven't seen one before. Interesting. How much? Let me see. Would you be willing to trade something reasonably priced for your sub? I intend to bring them to the king as a tribute. I'll be sure to mention your sub's name. A tribute, huh? Alright, let me look around.
Something reasonably priced? That's not a request.
Isn't it exciting? I can't wait to see what he brings out. There you go, there's the thought. I'm always just saying, yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are all good points. I'm more interested in the shopkeeper's response than the himself. What we forced on leaving the outside as a tribute to the king. There are a million and one different ways to think about it. I'm incredibly curious.
Are you worried you might try to cheat you?
It's certainly possible, but I don't think you have a reason to be concerned. Just look, that's just one part of the equation. You can bring me a rock from the side of the road, and I would happily accept it. Besides, this is just common writing from the various age talked about. It's of no significance to me. But in this country, it might be regarded as something very invaluable. I just can't get over how fascinating all this is. It's also of an extravagant source, but incredibly practically worthless. If I were a less scrupulous trader, I would have gathered up all I could to send the practice throughout the depths. Of course, I'll start with the districts outside of the villages to see how the market respond. He is indeed a businessman. That's an admirable thing to me. But I'm not sure if he might see that as an insult, because I don't know. But yeah, there it is.
You seem to be enjoying yourself, ELTCREED.
That's because I am. I've never played the part of a traveling merchant before. It's not often I get to experience a culture with such wildly different values.
Have edge travels between the depths and the heights?
When there were just two worlds, when the depths and the heights were all new, the difference between them seemed vast. But compared to Cain and Abel, those differences hardly seem more than a rounding error. Take the jewels, for example. In the heights and depths alike, the sea is inherently valuable, but to the people of this country, they're scarcely worth the time they take to gather. I realized something painfully obvious as I've grown older. At the end of the day, a precious stone is still just a stone. They can't fill your stomach and won't protect you from an attacker's weapon. That's true. Yeah, on both counts. Well, they can protect you if provided they're big enough and of enough high enough density. Could probably stop a bullet. But yeah, I get what he's saying. Survival suppresses us off the opposite side of the fog. Because people and society in general have attached value to them. It's arbitrary and artificial. They're very beautiful, symbol of wealth and being so. Those are the only reasons. I'm sorry, this sort of thing has to be talking about in the middle of a date. Date? When a man and a girl go out together, I consider that a date, don't you? It's fine if you don't, but I still want you to know that keep that thought in mind. At least have as much as it's on mine. That's going to be the end of this chapter. Keep this going to do long, ladies and gentlemen. If you think what I'm doing, please consider subscribing. I'll step back fairly well.